In the quiet village of Idera, there stood a mountain called Okru. It was not the tallest mountain in the world, but to the villagers it felt impossible. The mountain blocked the only path to the river that flowed into the next town. During the dry season, the small stream in Idera would shrink, and the people would suffer. Crops would wither, wells would dry, tempers would rise. For years, the elders talked about finding another way around the mountain. But every attempt failed. The forest on one side was too thick. The rocks on the other side were too steep. Eventually, the villagers accepted it as their fate, except for Amara. Amara was 14, small for her age, with a voice that carried more courage than her size suggested. She listened quietly whenever the elders spoke in the village square. One evening, as complaints filled the air again, she stepped forward. "Why don't we go through the mountain?" she asked. The square went silent. Then laughter followed. "Through a mountain?" one elder said. "Do you think this is a storybook?" Amara did not argue, but that night she could not sleep. She remembered a teaching she once heard from the Bible in church about faith as small as a mustard seed being able to move mountains. People had always treated it like poetry. She wondered, what if it was instruction? The next morning, she gathered a few of her friends. "I don't think the mountain will jump into the sea," she said. "But maybe faith means starting even when it looks impossible." They borrowed simple tools, cutlasses, hoes, and an old pickaxe. At first, they only cleared shrubs at the base of Okru. It was slow work. The sun was harsh. By midday, their hands were blistered. Villagers walked past and shook their heads. "Children playing at miracles," someone muttered. But Amara kept going. On the third day, something shifted. A farmer named Babatund, who had lost half his crops to drought the previous year, watched them quietly. He did not join immediately. He simply brought them water. The next day, he brought his shovel. By the end of the week, 5 adults were working beside the children. Faith, Amara realized, was contagious. Weeks turned into months. The work was harder than they imagined. Beneath the shrubs were stubborn rocks. Beneath the rocks was thick clay. There were arguments. There were days when no one showed up. There were moments when even Amara doubted herself. But every time discouragement crept in, she remembered something important. Faith is not denial of difficulty. It is persistence despite it. One evening, while digging deeper into a rocky section, they struck something unusual. The sound of metal hitting hollow space echoed through the narrow path they had carved. Carefully, they cleared the debris. Beneath the layers of stone was a natural tunnel, small but real. It had been hidden for generations. Excitement spread through Idera like wildfire. The tunnel was not wide enough for carts, but it was a start. With renewed strength, the villagers expanded it. What began as the stubborn effort of a few teenagers became a full community project. Even the elders who once laughed now supervised shifts and organized supplies. By the time the dry season returned, the path through Okru was complete. It was not smooth or perfect, but it connected Idera to the larger river beyond the mountain. Water flowed. Trade increased. Crops flourished. On the day the first group walked freely through the tunnel, the village gathered to celebrate. Drums sounded. Children danced. The elders spoke proudly about unity and resilience. Amara stood quietly at the edge of the crowd. An old woman approached her. "You were right," she said gently. "Faith moved this mountain." Amara shook her head. "No," she replied. "Faith moved us, and we moved the mountain." From that day forward, Okru was no longer known as the mountain that blocked the way. It became the mountain that revealed the strength within the people of Idera. And whenever new challenges arose, someone would always say, "Remember the day faith moved a mountain." Because sometimes mountains do not move by magic. Sometimes they move because someone believes enough to pick up the first tool.